Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Please confirm that you can hear and that you can see me clearly. Please confirm that you can hear and that you can see me clearly. Welcome to another session. Welcome to another session of Faith and Finance Weekly. How have we been? So it's been, I think, 2 weeks, and we're back bigger, stronger, and with another powerful session by God's grace. So as usual, I'm going to go straight into it, but please, I just want to be sure that you can hear me fine, you can see clearly. So please, if you can, just comment. I can hear and I can see. Okay, I can hear and I can see. I can hear and I can see. I can hear and I can see. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's fine. So let's go. Today, we're looking at the psychology of money. So, what is the psychology of money? Our financial ceiling is determined by our mindset. Our financial ceiling. So a ceiling is the highest level you can attain. And in life, once we continue to grow and live the way we are supposed to live, our ceiling will keep increasing. So there was a time in life when what was most important, the hardest thing for you to do was to understand and learn the alphabets, right? A, B, C, D, E. So that was the height. The moment you knew it, that's your ceiling. You can't take. It's like that's the greatest thing you knew at that moment. So your ceiling in life, I'm using the word is supposed to, and I'm using it intentionally because the truth of the matter is that age alone, how long you live in this life, is not really the only thing that determines where you are, who you will be, so on and so forth. So it's very important that we understand that you must be intentional with growth. So if you're intentional with growth and growing, you're intentionally making sure you are growing, your ceiling will continue to be raised. So I said all this just to explain that all of us have a financial ceiling. This is the highest level we've ever hit. $50,000, the highest level. 1 million naira, I've never gotten more than 1 million naira at a time. Somebody else gets to a place, I've never gotten more than 10 million. That's the ceiling. So your financial ceiling is your mindset. So we're going to look at 3 scriptures, then we'll move straight. Okay, Romans 12 verse 2 says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the transformation of the mind is a way you raise the ceiling. And when you transform and renew your mind with the word of God, your ceiling is raised beyond the natural, because you begin to think the way God thinks. You begin to think systems of the kingdom where there are no limits. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind. When this is done, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So in other words, it is the renewing of the mind that makes you look and have proof of all the good things God has for you. Until a man renews his mind, he cannot access all the good God has. So I must consistently be renewing my mind to access more. The psychology of money. So what does the scripture say about money? What does the scripture say about possibilities, limitations. What does the scripture say about abundance and lack? I must continue to renew my mind. Now notice I'm not just saying you, I'm saying I. So it's a journey that doesn't end until we go to heaven. I must continue to renew my mind. There was a time 1 million naira was a lot of money in my eyes. There's a time whatever figure, you know what that figure is, was a lot of money, but after a while it doesn't look like anything. You must keep raising your financial ceiling. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks, that is who he is. You cannot access more than your thinking capacity allows. You will never grow higher than your thoughts. So the first thing I must do anytime I want to move, I must start working on the way I think concerning that area. So if I just got married and I notice that I'm always having issues with my wife, we're always arguing, I'm always thinking this about her, thinking that about her, and I want to change, the first thing I know by rule and principle is that I must start changing my mindset first. I must start renewing my mind. I must start reading, exposing myself to a different type of thinking. I must start exposing myself to a different set of thoughts. Until I do that, no matter how I try and accountability partner here, accountability partner there, I will still go back to what I was doing before. The only way change can come is when the mind, the way of thinking changes. As a man thinks in his heart, it's not just what he says outside. It's not just, you're in an environment, so you talk big, you talk no. It's as he thinks in his heart. Those hidden thoughts are determining your highest level. So would it be right for me to say that your thoughts determine your level? Your thoughts determine your best. Your thoughts determine your promotion. Your thoughts determine your finances. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Deuteronomy 8:18. And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth. I think it's NIV or NLT that says gives the ability. I think it's NIV. Gives the ability to get wealth. The know-how, the strategy, the skill to get wealth. It is God that gives it. Okay. So the psychology of money. I hope I've been able to establish that you can't grow beyond your level of thinking. So for every time I want to grow, for every time I want to move, I must improve my level of thinking. My thoughts must come higher before I physically come higher. I must rise in my thoughts before I can physically rise. Okay? So let's go on. So the difference between the rich, the poor, and the middle class is not the amount of money they earn, it's their psychology. The rich, the poor, and the middle class are not separated by the amount of money in their account. They're separated by their psychology. The psychology, the way they think, the way they reason, the way they interpret money, what they see money as, is the separation. So a man can actually be earning less. Let me try and break it down. Let's say in January, Mr. A earns $5,000. That same January, Mr. B earns $15,000. But Mr. A has a mindset, even though he's earning $5,000, there's a psychology he has, there's a way of thinking that is of the rich. The way the rich think is the way he thinks. He's earning 5,000. The other guy is earning 15,000, and the other guy who's earning 50,000 is thinking like a poor person. Yes, it's possible. People can actually have a lot of cash and be poor. So he's thinking like a poor person. This other guy who is earning less is thinking like a rich person. Give it a little time. Everybody will now migrate to their rightful position. And I use the word rightful because it is where the way you think that determines where you should be. So everybody will still move, allocate, shift, migrate, whatever English you want to use, to the right place. I can guarantee you. Once the thoughts and the psychology is right, what should follow will follow. So you are not financially where you are because of your job. You are where you are because of your mindset. Your mindset even determines the level of job you can handle. It even determines your boldness. It even determines how money keeps coming into my hands. So the battlefield is in the mind. I don't care what is in your account. I don't care the debts that exist right now. What separates us is our mindset. There are people that come out, they are joyful, they're excited, they are making plans, talking big. You can see the genuine joy. If they go and tell you the battles they are fighting behind, you will have no idea. But it doesn't move them, because there's something they're looking at. There's a way they think that is different from even the one that is coming to beg them for help. Doesn't know that these people are facing bigger battles than them. But it's the mindset that separates them. And with time, the fruit will show. Once the mindset is right, once you win the battle in your mind, you've won the war. Once you win the battle in your mind, you've won. So your mindset is like your OS, your operating system. So if you install a poverty OS, you run poverty programs. And your results will always default to lack, regardless of how much money. And I've seen many people, and you must have experienced it, seen people. If it has never happened to you personally, you know people who earn good money but they never have enough. And then there are other people that you look at and you're wondering, how are they surviving with this amount of money? And you see the grand thing, they're not just surviving, but they are thriving with that money. Don't worry, everybody will soon migrate to their proper position once the mindset is right. And that's what I always check. I check two things. What vibration am I in? What are my emotions? If I notice negative emotions, it means I have negative thoughts. So I immediately notice and start trying to correct it. What just happened? What made me feel down? What made me feel irritated? What made me feel easily triggered? What is it? I start checking to address it. Okay. So once I notice it, you can't allow it to fester, because it will go and carry and have children. So some of us like the pity party. Some of us like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, what's wrong? Look at your face. Some of us enjoy it. That's like what gives you energy, that people are pitying you. Please, you better leave that place. Because the person who pities you for a few minutes. When he goes home, he eats, he drinks, he sleeps well. And the fact that you always want to be the one pitied means you will always be pitied. You must leave that place. Leave that mindset of lack. So the difference is just the psychology. So if you have the poverty OS, that's all you will see. You can't have an iOS and be expecting to see Microsoft software. No. If you have the poverty OS, lack will follow. You will always be hustling. Everything is struggle. So I've said this before in one of the sessions. One of the greatest lies we've heard is that time is money, and we debunked it, right? If you remember, we debunked it because time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. And you see, people who have this poverty OS live with that mindset of time is money. So everything they do, they calculate with time. And they exchange time for money. So somebody will rather get small money and give up all their time because they don't value time. They've not come to understand that time is too valuable to just give away for some small amount of money. So let's look at it this way. If someone offered you, let's say, $20,000, somebody offered you $20,000, and they say, I'll give you $20,000 now, but if I give you $20,000 now, by Sunday I'll end your life. Will you take it? I'll give you $20,000 now. So West African time, this is 16 minutes past 7. Okay, so you have Friday evening, and you have the whole of Saturday. Then, but let's say by 7 p.m. on Sunday, I'll take your life. So enjoy this $20,000 for a little over 48 hours. Is it even up to 40? Yeah. So a little over 48 hours. Enjoy $20,000 and I'll take your life. Will you accept it? Everybody will say no. Why will you say no? Because deep down, your soul knows that time is life. Time is life. And obviously, life is infinitely more valuable than money. You must look at time as life, because that's actually what time is. Time is life. So every day I didn't achieve what I should have achieved in that day, I've lost a part of my life. I will never get that part of my life back. That is how valuable time is. Nobody will accept that offer except you are possessed and you're mad. You really don't know what you're doing. Nobody will accept that offer. That I'll just have 48 hours to enjoy 20,000. But we do it all the time. Exchanging valuable, priceless time for change. So stop trading something that is irreplaceable for something that is replaceable. Time is irreplaceable. Money is replaceable. See, no matter what happens to you today, no matter how the 4 stages of financial dominion. I'm trying to remember if I've taught this before. If maybe I've taught it somewhere but not here. I can't really remember. But either way, it's something we almost know. In fact, this is what helped me in restructuring things with my agency. This actually helped me restructuring things in my agency too. I just tell myself the truth that what are you really building? So these are the 4 stages. The first stage, this was taught by Myron Golden. I really like it. It helped me. It opened my eyes and I want to share it. So the first stage is the first psychology. The first stage is the time trap. So that's stage 1. Many of us start from here, but you should stay there. First stage is the time trap. So you can call it have a job. You sell your limited time for a capped income. You sell your limited time for a capped income. What does a capped income mean? It means you can't get more than that. It's capped. No matter what you deliver, your salary is your salary. Capped income. So I sell 8 hours a day every working day for that capped income. That is the time trap. Now, many people start from here. Some don't, but many do. There's nothing wrong with it. So, someone who is on this level, what should he be doing? Escape that time for money trap. Escape this place where you are paid based on time. You have to put in this time to get paid. You have to physically show up to get paid. Your mindset must be, I need to leave here. I'm here now, but I can't stay here for long. Okay. The second one is the owner's burden. The second one is the owner's burden. The owner's burden. So this is where you now own a job. Remember, the first is you have a job. This one, you own a job. You own the business, but if you stop working, the business stops. I say it again. You actually own a business. Congratulations, you have done well. You have moved away from have a job to own a job. It's progress. But this is the issue. At the owner's burden, this second level, owner job level, if you don't work, you still will not eat. You own your business, but you are everything. You're the accountant, you're the programmer, you're the graphics designer, you are the everything. So if you don't show up, if something happens and you can't work for 2 months, you won't get any money. It's progress, but you must not end there. So stop. The goal here now, what you must do to live here, stop being the employee of your own system. Stop being the employee of your own system. Stop being the employee of your own system. Because that's what it is. I was here for a while. And sometimes the trap is that you start calculating, but I can do it myself. If I bring somebody in, I have to let go of some of the profit. Leave there. Type in the chat, leave that place. Just leave that place. Leave that place. If you are not ready to scale, just go and maintain a job where you're paid your salary. Because what people don't even know, when everybody's shouting entrepreneur, there's more work in being an entrepreneur. They don't have start time and close. I know when you're working for somebody, even if you didn't finish the assignment, by 5 you can just shut down your laptop and go home. Because at the end of the month, you still be paid. But when you own your own business, you know that if you don't finish it, you will not eat. So you have to be diligent in making sure. that you finish that project. So own a job. That's the second level. The owner's burden. Own a job. So if you own a business, but if you stop working, the business stops. You have more money, but you don't have time. You have more money, but you don't have time. Some of you, if you're married, the third stage. The third stage is the leverage platform. So you now move from owning a job to owning a system. Somebody say own a system. Own a system. So at this place, you create mechanisms, whether it is products, courses, softwares, services, teams that make money without your presence. So at this place where you get to the leverage platform, you don't need to physically work for money to be entering. You have set up systems where even if you are not there, the ball is still rolling. Things are still happening. You are still earning even if you're not there. You've raised a team. Let's say you have a book on different platforms, and whether you promote or not, you're getting sales. You will get sales for the rest of your life. Okay, so this is a system. You have a product, maybe an application or a software where people pay subscription fee. You will have that for the rest of your life, more or less. So you now own a system. The Everything to work is no longer solely dependent on you. You can actually take a vacation and make more money while on vacation because you own a system. You have a team. You have a system working for you. So at this point, when you get here, you will have a little more time, and that time you now have more of, you are now to use it to build and create visions and start, entering this place, going here, checking here, improving. So see what is needed. You have more time to look at from a distance, look at the business, look at the system you set up, and think of what can I do to improve it, what can I do to improve it, and you give the instructions and they do the job. This is where you need to be. You must own a system, because people leave their job, own their own business, but they are more stressed out than when they were complaining when they were working for people. They're just using you. Yeah. But you notice that when you left that job, you probably made more money, but you're more stressed out. So you must now move to the place of owning a system. So your mind must build assets that buy back your time. You must start thinking and consistently think, what can I add? What can I tweak to bring in more? What can I set up to relieve me more? You're just thinking. You are the place where you are the visionary. You are the place where you're the visionary. Then the fourth. The fourth level is the legacy multiplier. So this is where you sow money seeds. You sow money seeds. This is where your money makes more money, and you have both time and wealth. So obviously I've given this in levels, but you can own a system and be on this sow money seeds, obviously. So this is where money is making money. It's not your hard work that's making you the money. It's your money. You put your money to work. So whether you are there or not physically, your money is producing more money for you for the rest of your life and beyond. Your money can even keep working for you and still work for your children and their children. Your money is working for you. You don't have to do anything else. This is how to genuinely dominate. Very simple. You own a job. You have a job. Move from having a job to owning a job. Set a time frame. I will do this for this length of time. I want to be able to get enough income. Once I get this, is the first place I need to systemize and automate or whatever. I need to get the first staff here. I need to pay for this. I need to get a consultant here. I need to do this. Have that plan. Don't stay on the second level for too long. Your plan on the second level from day one should be, when do I move to the leverage platform? What can I do now to own a system? Then as you are there, things are balancing up. Start thinking legacy. Legacy. What do I need to set up so I can retire at 40? What do I need to set up so I can retire at 50? Even if I reach the retiring age and I decide not to retire, it's not because I'm chasing money or I need money. It's just that I like it. I enjoy my job. So when Deuteronomy 8:18 talks about the power to get wealth or the ability to get wealth, it's not the job stage. The power to get wealth is not having a job. It is the divine wisdom and insight. It is strategies to create systems. That's what he's talking about. Not talking about going to work for somebody for the rest of your life. Now, please Do not get me wrong. There are people that are career people, and they will be career people till they retire. Even career people can own a job. Career people also leverage platforms. Career people also get to the legacy multiplier stage. Yes, I have a mentor. Was mentor. He was mentoring me from when I was just finding my feet in my career. I went to him, and he accepted to mentor me. And he was at the highest level in the company. Okay, he was the head, but it wasn't his company. He was employed for that position. And the day he left his company, after a while, I saw some things that he was doing, and I said, "Wow." And I started asking him about this other company. He said, "Oh, that he has had this company for over 15 years or over 10 years." And I was in shock. So don't feel that me saying having a job means go and resign immediately. And no, no, no. It's face. I can be employed and still employ other people in some other business. I can be employed and still have my own thing on the side. I can be employed and still have investment, have property. That's not an excuse. So this is not a teaching to say um, working for somebody is wrong. You can never be rich if you're a salary earner. I don't say that. It's not true. If you are just a salary earner, you will be limited. I can't also say, because you can get to the level of earning salary where they pay you in thousands, mega thousands of dollars every month. So I don't believe in that. So, but if you now collect all the money and finish all the money, and you don't understand these systems, these phases on how to systemize and how to create a legacy and stuff like that, then you will just finish all the money and be broke. So that's what you need to understand, that I can still be a salary earner and still set this up. Yes, you can. And you must. You must. So when you get to that level, and even though I'm a career person and I'm employed and I'm being paid a salary, I get to that place where if tomorrow I leave that job, I'm asked to leave, or something happens to the company, I'm not perturbed, because I've built this system. That's the point. So when God says give you the power to get wealth, power to get wealth is not just to sit and just be watching it. No. Power to get wealth is the systems, the strategy, the know-how to create. We were made to create. Yes. We were made to create. So God did not bless you to stay a servant to a system. He blessed you to be an owner and not a lender. Deuteronomy 28:12. So let's move on. So what's the purpose of money? And we're going to look at the different segments, or the different people, classes of people, how each of them sees money, and they see money differently. The way I see money is different from the way a poor person, a middle class person will see money. And you must understand, this rich, you are rich. Say I'm rich. Say I'm rich with an exclamation mark. It's not about the money you have in your account right now. It's about the psychology and the mindset you have developed. You have developed, and you keep building and enforcing. You are enforcing it in your being. The Bible says when the clouds are full, they empty themselves. So you are enforcing it. Okay. So if tomorrow morning, this is our favor season. So tomorrow morning, somebody just calls you out of the blue. It looks like a scam, but you realize it's not a scam, and they wire you $50,000. what is the first thing that will come to your mind when that money hits your account? The first thing that comes to your mind when that money hits your account is your financial psychology. That first thing that comes to your mind to do with the money betrays your financial psychology. It shows exactly where you are. That first thing that comes to your mind shows your mindset about money. This is something I've had to work on, and I'm still working on. That's why the Bible talks about renewing the mind. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it, I need to pay this bill? Is it, how can I want to buy this hair? Finally, I can afford that car. Oh, finally, I will go and do photo shoots. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when that money hits your account? That shows your financial psychology. That shows where you are. So now let's look at the poor, the middle class, and the rich. So the psychology of the poor. When money enters their hand, the first thing that comes to their mind is to pay bills and buy stuff. The poor. That's how they think. Pay bills, buy stuff. Pay bills, buy stuff. Pay bills, buy stuff. That's all they are seeing, not you. That's all they are seeing. Money has come. Finally, I can pay for this. God, they won't disturb me again. I'm free. Finally, I can buy this thing. I've always wanted to buy. I can buy it now. This psychology guarantees you will always be poor, as your entire focus is on consumption and debt satisfaction, never creation. I'll read it again. This psychology guarantees that you will always be poor, as your entire focus is on consumption and debt satisfaction, not on creation. So that is how the poor think about money. That is the mindset. Money is for paying bills and buying stuff. I heard someone say, I think I've heard more than one person say this, that if you go to the poor man's house, they have the biggest screens. They have the best entertainment systems. They have the best distractions you can think of. But if you check at their bookshelves, they don't have books. They don't have courses. They don't have any trainings they're undergoing. Their focus is on pleasure. Pay bills and enjoy some stuff. Pay bills and enjoy some stuff. You will be shocked that the poor man eats meat, and he will tell you can't eat without. Now, am I saying don't eat meat? No, I'm just using it to show you that somebody will not have, but there are things he can't sacrifice. He must. So he can't do this. So I can't stay here. I can't. No. Consumption. The poor man thinks consumption, never creation. In fact, if you tell him now, take this money, and in 1 year it will give you 15%. He says, what's 15%? In a whole year, 15%? No, it's too small. I might as well just use the money now. What's 15%? That's how he thinks. Consumption. So let's look at the middle class guy. So the middle class thinks of having good credit. So in America, they live in a credit society. Nigeria is trying to introduce that. With these tax systems that are being brought in now, you're going to see a lot more credit, because they are going to track and see who is good for the credit. So the middle class guy is just thinking of how he can live comfortably. Have a good car, have the best, DSTV, internet, just be comfortable, no stress. Let's be happy. Let's be happy. I can't come and kill myself, Jerry. Let's be happy. Buy stuff. Buy stuff you can't even afford. Look at what other people are doing, what other people are buying than what it was to be sold before. But it's just a psychological thing. So when I see sales, I don't just jump in and say it's actual sales, except maybe I've been following them and I know what it was. I've seen the price before. But middle class just jump in. Now the rich, the kingdom guys. The purpose of money to us is to turn it into more money. The purpose of money is, how can I use this $10,000 to create another $10,000? So $10,000, what portion can I take out to make sure that it reproduces? That's how we think. That's how you think. What can I do? All can't go on bills. All can't go on enjoyment. Everything can't be used up on what I like, what I want. The focus is, how can I make sure that this money brings more money? It's an understanding that money is a seed. It's not a store. Money is not a storehouse. Money is not a storehouse. Money is a seed. And every seed reproduces according to its kind. So if money is a seed, it means that it should produce more money. So when money enters my hand, the first thing I'm thinking is, how can this money bring more money? Make sense? It's not a storehouse. If you carry money and keep it in a room, that money, that paper will be damaged. Money was meant to move. Money was not meant to stay in a place. Money is designed to exchange hands, to move from place to place. If money is kept in one place, the economy will suffer. The economy will literally struggle. The economy will literally struggle if money is kept in one place. Okay? So, it is a very important truth we must know. Your mandate is to multiply it for greater impact and legacy. Your mandate is to take everything, every figure that enters your hand and multiply it. We've looked at the parable of the sower in previous sessions. He was called wicked because he didn't invest. So you must not spend the mommy money. Mama. What is the mommy money? The mommy money is the okay, let's say 10,000 entered my hand. The day I heard this, we're growing. The day I heard this, somebody said, I was listening to a training and he said that if he wants to go on vacation, he wants to buy a new yacht, he wants to buy a new golf set or golf clubs and stuff, he wants to do something he desires, he will not go to the money he has to do it. He will create an offer that will pay for that thing. That's the mommy money. So the mommy money is the money that comes in. Don't spend the mommy money. Only spend the baby money. What does that mean? It means when this 10,000 enters my hand, that 10,000 is not for me to spend all. What I spend is the produce that came from the mommy money. What I'm allowed to spend is when that 10K enters, is what comes from the 10K that I'm allowed to spend. That 10K must spend. I was talking to my wife today. we had some interactions with some people, and these are kind of high level people, two of them. So we're just comparing and saying that it just, these people, they have this amount of money, but to bring it out, to spend, to use, they're probing everything. And I said, listen, the reason is, I just heard this in a training and it just applied immediately. The reason is that for every 10,000 they want to spend, they are not seeing 10,000. They are seeing what that 10,000 could have produced. So 10,000 is not 10,000. 10,000, remember, is a seed, and that 10,000 can produce 100,000. So the probing is to say, is this the best use of this mommy money? If I use it all, just spend it without thinking, without calculating, I've lost 100,000. I didn't lose 10,000. It's 100,000 I lost, because that 10,000 has the capacity to produce 100,000. So you become more careful with money. There's no such thing as it's just this, it's just that, it's just now. There's a thin line between being wise and being stingy. Okay? But I'm sure you get what I mean. You don't just spend stupidly. You understand that what they call small. If every rich man was just spending, he will no longer be a rich man. I have to calculate. I have to check. If you go to buy something, you don't just come back and tell me this is the price. I will ask you to negotiate it down, because every single penny matters. That is not the amount. That's what I need you to get. It's not the amount in itself. It's what that amount could have produced. It's what that amount could have produced. So you must protect. So the rich hold that mother money, that mommy money, long enough to give birth to more money. That's why I always say, one of the first things I say, people that I'm working closely with, mentoring or whatever, I always tell you, have a percentage that is your investment / saving. Always. Don't compromise it. Always have. That gives you a guarantee. So for me, I have a percentage that is for seed that goes into heaven crust. I have a percentage that goes into earth crust. I have a percentage that goes into heaven crust. I have a percentage that goes into earth crust. What that ensures for me is that for everything that enters my hand, there will be reproduction. There will be multiplication. So it's a law that I'm applying, that for everything that enters my hand, I have a portion I've put into the heaven crust, and I have a portion I've put into earth crust. How would I ever be poor? So if you want a big harvest, where ending 2025, if you want a massive harvest, protect your money. Protect your mommy money. Protect that money that enters your hand. Every seed reproduces according to its kind. Money is a seed. Money is a seed. So don't go and bury that talent. Don't stop that cycle of waste. Stop that cycle of waste, of just doing what you feel like doing. Stop that cycle of waste. Get to the place where you are so intentional. Everything that, close your mind to all the needs and all the people crying and everything happening around you. I need to be strong enough to be able to help people up. Allow me to be strong. Allow me to build. Allow me to invest. Allow me to prepare things so that I will be able to keep supporting you. Ladies and gentlemen, be wise. Build your mindset. God bless you. I hope this helps. I hope this was helpful this evening. All right, so we'll see again, I believe next week. Yeah, please, you can come back again, rewatch it over and over again. There's so much here. There's so much here. Feel free to share, feel free to use it to teach in your various small groups and all that. And then you can come back, drop any question in the comments, and I will do my best to come back and answer them. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you for the time. Thank you for participating this evening. Have a wonderful night. God bless you.